this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, today's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Friday, 26th of March. Bullish start to the day for Bitcoin. Looking at the hourly candlesticks, going to need to see Bitcoin avoid a fallback through the pivot at 51,608 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 52,866. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from 52,500 levels. So buying an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 53,116 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended breakout, could see Bitcoin test resistance of 55,000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 54,374. A fallback through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 50,100 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should see Bitcoin avoid the second major support level at 48,842 and the 23.6% fib at 48,082. Looking at the MACDs, slight widening of the bullish histogram this morning, supporting the early upside. On the EMA, the 50 has flattened slightly against the 100 and the 200, but still a bearish indicator. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 51,608 and break back through to 52,500 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ethereum against US dollar, also bullish start to the day here. Going to need to Ethereum avoid a fallback through the pivot at 1586 to take a run at this first major resistance level at 1623. We need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 1620 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high 1622.27 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ethereum test resistance at 1700 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1660. A fall through the pivot will bring the 23.6% fib at 1579 and the first major support level at 1550 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay close sub 1500s. Second major support level sits at 1512. Looking at the MACD, got a widening of the bullish histogram supporting this early upside. On the EMA, the 50 has flattened on the 100 and the 200, so need to keep an eye on that through the morning. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fallback through that pivot at 1586 and break back through to 1620s to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play. Moving across to Litecoin against US dollar, also bullish this morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid a fallback through the pivot at 173 to take a run at this first major resistance level at 177. We need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from this morning's high. It was at 176.68. So buying extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 178.24 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Litecoin test resistance at 190 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 183. Pullback through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 167 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of 160s. 38.2% fib at 163 and the second major support level 162 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram this morning supporting this early upside. On the EMA, 50 has also flattened on the 200 and the 100, so need to keep an eye on that through the morning. That's providing early support. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 173 and break back through this morning's high 176.68 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play. You're looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar. Ripple's XRP is on the move again. You need to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 0.4978 to take a run at this 23.6% fib at 0.5320 and the first major resistance level staying at 0.5385. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.53 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect the 23.6% fib and that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.58 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.5648. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 0.4715 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid the major support level sitting at 0.4308 A 38.2% fib at 0.4632 should limit the downside on the day. Looking at the MACD, it's got a widening of the bullish histogram this morning, supporting this early upside. On the EMA, we're also seeing the 50 close in on the 100 and pull away from the 200, also supporting the upside through the early part of the day. So keep through the morning, avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.4978 and break back through to 0.53 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play.